The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's legal battle with Ripple has been one of the most closely watched in the crypto world. After years of uncertainty, it looks like a major turning point has arrived. Ripple's CEO has reached a settlement with the SEC. This victory could send XRP's value skyrocketing to an amazing $8,300. There's more to this town than just a simple deal. Ripple and the whole cryptocurrency market are going through a huge change. For people who have been following XRP's ups and downs, this is the moment that could change everything. The settlement clears up the legal questions that have been hanging over XRP's future and gives it new chances to do well. Experts and investors people are saying that the price of XRP could go through the roof, and the excitement around this news is obvious. It took years of hard work to reach this deal. For years, the SEC said that XRP should be considered a security, which would mean that Ripple would have to follow a whole new set of rules. This legal fight put a lot of stress on Ripple, which its price to go down and its place in the market to be called into question. Many people were worried that if the SEC won, it would set a bad example for other cryptocurrencies as well. But now that the settlement is in place, the future looks much brighter. The legal cloud over XRP is finally lifted, and the market is responding with a surge of optimism as Ripple's CEO is able to close the deal. This part with the SEC, as word spreads, people are more confident in XRP's ability to succeed. Its value is expected to rise, and the $8,300 price prediction doesn't seem as far-fetched as it did before. This legal victory for Ripple isn't just for one company, it's a huge win for the whole cryptocurrency industry. The settlement shows that the regulatory digital assets can get around their problems, and this may make more buyers think of XRP as a safe and sound investment, even though the law isn't clear on it yet. Goes away. Ripple is now in a great situation to become even more important in the world of international payments. The price target of $8,300 shows that people think XRP will not only rebound but also more institutions are starting to use Thrive as their favorite way to send money across borders. With this deal, Ripple has not only proved its worth in the market, but it has also opened the door to a new era in the history of digital currencies that has been building for more than 3 years. A big court case between Ripple and the U.S. Secret Service is about whether XRP is a security. The SEC sued Ripple in December 2020, saying the company raised over $1.33 billion through the sale of XRP, which they said was an unregistered security. The case has been one of the most closely watched in the crypto world, because the outcome could set a major precedent for how other cryptocurrencies are regulated in the future. Since XRP was labeled as a security by the SEC, the deal Ripple would have to follow the same rules for regulation as regular securities. This includes having to be registered and protecting investors. This case wasn't just to protect XRP's status, it was a matter of life and death. The SEC's actions caused a lot of legal uncertainty, which had a big effect on many platforms. Took XRP off the market as the case went on, and financial institutions were wary of working with Ripple's blockchain technology. This made it hard for the company to run its business, and the value of XRP also dropped. The court case put Ripple on the edge, and the future of the company and its digital asset was in danger. The result was more than just a legal issue. It could change the whole cryptocurrency market. At first, the SEC's lawsuit seemed like a big problem. Ripple didn't give up. The company's lawyers fought hard, saying that XRP shouldn't be seen as a security since it wasn't an investment contract and worked more like a cryptocurrency. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, said over and over that the company was being unfairly targeted, and that the SEC's actions were bad for the crypto industry as a whole. For Ripple, this wasn't just about winning the case, it was about protecting the very ideas of decentralization and innovation in the cryptocurrency space. No end. The recent settlement between Ripple and the SEC shows that Ripple's determination paid off. The legal cloud that had been over XRP for a long time has been lifted, and the future looks brighter than ever for both Ripple and its digital asset. The road to the settlement between Ripple and the SEC was full of loops and twists. There were a few important events that changed the outcome of the case. For months, no one knew how it would end, because both sides were exchanging legal blows and making public statements. But behind the scenes, talks were going on, and it looked like a solution might be close. This was one of the most important turning points. Ripple won a number of important court decisions. For example, the judge in charge of the case said that some of Ripple's XRP transfers were not subject to the SEC's jurisdiction. This was a huge win for Ripple. Along with the legal victories, this decision helped build momentum for a possible settlement, which shows that the legal tide might be turning in Ripple's favor. The public's view of Ripple was also beginning to change in its favor. The cryptocurrency community and many legal experts began to criticize the SEC's actions, saying that the lawsuit was too broad and could hurt the innovation that cryptocurrencies represent. Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse and its legal team are working hard to fight the SEC's claims, claiming that XRP was a digital currency and not a security. The case brought attention to the need for clearer rules on digital assets, and Ripple's fight became a symbol for the industry's overall struggle to get rules. Because of these and other reasons, along with growing public support for Ripple, the SEC is under more and more pressure to change its mind by early 2025. Talks of a possible settlement began to gain steam. Both sides were said to be meeting behind closed doors to try to find common ground that would end the long-running legal battle. Many analysts thought that a settlement was the most likely outcome because the SEC was getting more and more negative feedback for how it was handling the case, and Ripple had made a lot of progress. It was clear that both Ripple and the SEC wanted to put this case behind them when they defended their positions. They knew that continuing the lawsuit could cause even more uncertainty for the whole crypto industry. Eventually, and to a lot of people's surprise, Ripple and the SEC came to an agreement that would end the lawsuit. Ripple was able to focus on its growth and the future of XRP without having to worry about legal challenges all the time. The settlement not only ended the immediate legal dispute, but it also made the company's path forward easier. With the agreement in place, now that the news is out, the cryptocurrency market is responding. With the settlement in place, XRP's future looks better than ever. An important question that everyone is asking right now is how this will affect the future of XRP. The answer is very positive. The legal uncertainty that had been hanging over XRP for a few years has now been lifted, and investors who were afraid to hold XRP because of the risk of more regulatory issues are now doing so, having a lot more confidence. Many analysts think that the new information about XRP's legal status will greatly increase demand, which will lead to a significant rise in the price of XRP. In fact, some experts think that XRP could reach as high as $8,300 in the near future, a price level that many people thought was impossible just a short time ago. There are a number of things that have now come together in Ripple's favor that made it possible for XRP to reach such a high price. First, the SEC lawsuit has been settled, which means that Ripple can focus on its main goal of expanding its blockchain technology for cross-border payments. This is where Ripple has always seen its biggest potential for XRP, already being used by banks around the world to make